been married for 21 years.
I hear you.
We have an amazing daughter, Erica, who is here today. She asked if she could come to this event, reason to hope to hear us speak. This is her first for her, and I believe this may be both difficult and moving for her. Erica has an amazing strength of character and is extremely supportive of both her father and I, and we are grateful for her every day. Putting things off, thoughts of doing things later, or in a couple of years, are no longer part of our vocabulary. And we are living our lives with dignity, thoughtfulness, patience, and humor. In the last few years, we've had the opportunity to see some amazing places far and wide, dreams realized. Now we will take a journey unlike no other with Alzheimer's, and the disease promises us surprises. Some experiences will be incredibly rewarding, others extremely poignant. It sounds strange, but now that Alzheimer's has become part of our lives, I feel we've been given this opportunity to make our lives more meaningful. In some ways, it's made me a better person. Things that we would have taken for granted are now cherished. I love yous come out a little more often. I often try to put myself in Mike's shoes, thinking of how I would want to be treated. Striving to understand what he's feeling when he's down, but really, how can I? Do I actually understand what he's saying, truly saying? He knows I'm trying. Mike and I attend weekly support meetings with an early onset group in Lafayette going on 2 years now, while Erica meets with other adult children of Alzheimer's once a month, each of us taking away invaluable insight to the disease and its effects on our daily lives, both now and in the future. Mike and I are forever grateful for the amazing amount of support and resources available to us by the Alzheimer's Association, and can't imagine getting through this without it. We will continue to volunteer and participate in any capacity that will help us find a cure to this dreaded disease. We ask you to help support all the good works that are offered by such a worthy organization, and this will give us a reason to hope.
Tough acts to follow there. I was asked by the Alzheimer's Association to speak to you what it's like living with Alzheimer's disease. My name is Michael, I'm 55 years old. I was diagnosed as having early onset Alzheimer's disease in 2010. I had been attending an Alzheimer's Association discussion group for just short of 2 years. During the meetings, we laugh and we cry. We share experiences of getting lost and forgetting. We talk about drug trials and medications we are taking and how they affect us. I can tell you, none of us are being cured, and several of our members have been asked to leave the group because they could no longer follow the conversation. I'm a retired sheriff's office lieutenant and a police chief in Lafayette, just a few miles from here. I remember just a fraction of the cases that I worked on. I do remember one day when we were serving a search warrant in Lafayette. After serving the warrant, we were driving back to the police department. Before we arrived, we heard one of our patrol officers was in a vehicle pursuit. He continually broadcasted that he was following a white sedan that was speeding, running red lights and stop signs without slowing at all. The officer described the driver as being a skinhead. We were able to catch up to the officer following the speeding sedan, still running red lights and stop signs all the way to Walnut Creek. The driver finally drove into the parking lot of the Kaiser Hospital and pulled into a parking space. He casually stepped out of his car and said, "What's all this commotion about?" It turns out that the man was on his way to see his doctor regarding his Alzheimer's disease. By this time, there were patrol cars from Walnut Creek, Sheriff's Office, and Lafayette with their sirens and emergency lights flashing. We got a lot of ribbing for that pursuit from our fellow officers, and we chased an old man to the hospital. I can laugh about it now. It could have been a tragic accident. We revoked his license and thanked our lucky stars no one was injured. One of the problems of having Alzheimer's disease is asking the same question over and over again. I'm sure some of you experienced that. All of you caretakers out there are thinking, well, yeah, it is a big problem. If you're a caretaker, I know that you're experiencing that, the endless questions. I was thinking using Post-its. If I ask you the same question 3 times, the caretaker can write an answer on a Post-it and stick it on my shirt as a reminder. In my case, I would have so many Post-its I wouldn't even need to wear clothes. My wife knows all about that, by the way. What is your most valuable possession? Maybe your home, or an antique car, a wedding ring, 10,000 shares of Apple, your dog leaning into you when you're not feeling well. Not. Now imagine forgetting everything. Desolation. We live to learn, to remember, to fill our neurons with information. I try to remember thoughts of importance, but they're suspended in the cells of my diseased brain. I'm drowning in my mind's confusion. I want to battle for my thoughts and my imagination. I tried to participate in drug trials regarding Alzheimer's disease. So far, I've been disqualified for every trial I've shown interest in because of a DVA, which is short for developmental venous anomaly. My wife's laughing because the first word of that developmental, I typically can't pronounce it. It's our private secret. The doctors tell me that DVA is a delta-shaped vein in my head that could cause bleeding in my brain in conjunction with the experimental Alzheimer's drug they're testing. It's ironic to me that a possible cure for Alzheimer's could kill me. This is specifically for all the caretakers out there. I know there's a lot of them. They endure the endless and repetitive questions. They order and organize our beds and ensure we take them. They monitor us when we walk or drive. They pester the doctors for appointments and search for trials that offer hope. They are loving, caring, and compassionate. For me, my wife Suzanne is what I live for. She is my caretaker. If you're a caretaker, please stand up so we can applaud you. There's got to be some people out there. You're all my heroes. We have to convince our legislators to push more aggressively for funding the fight against Alzheimer's disease before it ruins our economy. We have to fight for our thoughts, our creativity, and our minds. A definition of war is to contend, to strive violently, and to fight a contest of struggle. My mind is being persistently attacked cell by cell. So far, the scientists, the doctors, and the drug companies are maybe slowing the disease. Our minds hold untold secrets. We are all born imperfect, but in our imperfection is diversity, creativity, discovery, and someday a cure. Make no mistake, we are at war, and the enemy is Alzheimer's disease. Thank you for listening.